conference, and our first international session, thanks to the Riemann Group, who has come all the way from Rome to be here with us today. My name is Isha Donadota, and I am honored to be this year's Secretary General. When I attended my first SCVMUN and listened to the Secretary General deliver his opening speech, I never expected that I would take his place 3 years later. When I began my MUN journey, I was a shy, timid freshman who didn't know a thing about international issues. Now I have the honor of standing before 900 people just as eager to learn about the world as I am. MUN experiences have given me tremendous growth, and I hope you will all experience similar progress here at SCVMUN. With every MUN conference that I attended, I gained awareness and experience. I have learned to view global issues from varying perspectives. I have learned how to speak with confidence and knowledge. I have learned to see every failed resolution as an opportunity to create a better solution rather than a step backwards. Most importantly, I have learned the importance of collaboration and communication on both a personal level and a global scale. Collaboration and communication, or in global terms, international cooperation and diplomacy, have been integral within the United Nations since its founding. In 1945, representatives from 50 nations gathered in San Francisco, not too far from here, to draft what would become one of the most important international agreements, the UN Charter. Since the establishment of the UN, the international community has been faced with some of history's most contentious issues, ranging from the Cold War and the threat of nuclear proliferation to tensions between Israel and Palestine and the Syrian civil war. With 193 members, policy differences regarding the best course of action are inevitable. But the goal of the United Nations and your role at this conference is to work towards peaceful solutions and find compromise for the good of the global community as a whole. These founding UN principles of promoting peace, collaboration, diplomacy, and compromise are ones that I hope you will apply not only in MUN simulations, but also in all areas of your life. Through my UN, I've learned the importance of being an active global citizen in today's world. Given the current polarization of today's political climate, it can be difficult at times to find a connection with others, even within our own country, let alone the international community. But our nations are more interconnected than ever, so it is becoming increasingly important for us all to be able to look past these geopolitical borders and see the people behind them. While many of the issues currently facing the international community may seem very far removed from your lives, we must realize that the implications of global action are felt universally. Besides simply simulating the United Nations, the goal of MUN is to prepare the leaders of the future to handle the world's most complex and controversial issues. You are all here today because you share an interest in influencing the world. You have all prepared research, written thorough position papers, and given up your time to be here at SCVMUN. You have chosen to spend your weekend debating the intricacies of world politics, something that many others your age cannot say the same. Whether you hope to become a world diplomat or not, your actions will shape the world around you, no matter what path you choose. As you head into committee today, I hope you will all treat this conference as an opportunity to fully consider the many facets of these topics, to take part in rigorous debate, and to work towards comprehensive and peaceful resolutions. The SCVMUN Secretariat has worked incredibly hard over the past year to put on a conference that is filled with engaging debate. While awards are an added bonus, we here at SCVMUN place greater importance on working with your fellow delegates rather than competing against them. For some of you, this may be one of your last conferences, but for many of you, this might be your first experience with MUN. So I hope you will all take this as an opportunity to learn and improve as delegates together. My final request is for you all to treat your committee's topics with the gravity that they deserve. Your committee's motion to end debate might mark the end of your time at SCVMUN, but these issues will not fade as quickly. To conclude, I hope you'll all take this conference as a chance to truly immerse yourself in the international affairs of today and prepare yourself to combat the global issues of tomorrow. Thank you. I would now like to introduce my Director General, Lucas Chavez-Myers. Who will be talking about this year's charity project and introducing our directors. Can I have a round of applause for Lucas?
Good evening, delegates. How are you guys doing? My name is Lucas Chavez-Myers. Thank you, Isha, for the introduction. I am the Director General for this year's SCVMUN. To begin, I'd like to introduce our charity project for this year, Doctors Without Borders. As many of you know, Doctors Without Borders is an international medical non-governmental organization comprised of hard-working volunteers that donate their time to help those affected by life-threatening situations such as armed conflict or natural disaster. Since its inception in 1971, Doctors Without Borders has worked in Sudan in 1979 to alleviate their citizens from the effects of famine and civil war. They worked in Sierra Leone in the late 1990s to treat tuberculosis and anemia among its residents, and in West Africa in 2014 to prevent a potential Ebola outbreak. Currently, Doctors Without Borders continues to work in parts of Africa, the Middle East, South America, and Southeast Asia to ensure that people of all genders, races, religions, creeds, and political convictions get the proper assistance they need and deserve. We are proud to host Doctors Without Borders as a charity project. During certain times in committee sessions on both Friday and Saturday, our secretary will come around to collect donations you delegates may have to help those in need, and we'd like to thank all of you delegates in advance for donating to this wonderful cause. Now, I would like to go over some quick housekeeping items so you guys are all informed over the logistics of the conference. First, the delegate center where delegates can print and where there will be coffee and pastries for sale both Friday night and Saturday morning is room 302. Secondly, there is a head delegate meeting in room 218 at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. Committee will start at 8:30 a.m. and there will be a faculty advisory meeting at 9:30 in the faculty lounge, which is room 322. There will be a future director meeting Saturday in the morning. And at that meeting, you want to make sure that all of you people that are interested in chairing for next year show up there. They're just logistical things, you guys, so thank you. Anyways, closing ceremony will be at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, in this gym, as printed out on the program. Saturday for lunch, and also for today, we have had food trucks, which will be located directly by the multi-purpose room at the bus depot in the student parking lot. All of this stuff is all in your programs if you ever need to refer to this information again. And finally, closing ceremony will be again in the gym, and the doors will open at 2:30, and ceremony will begin promptly thereafter. Concerning the committee itself, there is a no technology policy in any of the committees. Isha and I will be filtering through committees and will be available for any questions you guys may have. Now, on to introducing our hard-working staff that I have had the utmost pleasure of working with. As I introduce the directors in their respective committees, please hold your applause until the end. So I will be having the directors introduce themselves, and we will start on the far end of the Security Council. Test, test.
Hi, my name is Teresa. I will be the head chair of Security Council this year. I am currently attending San Jose City College, where I am majoring in business administration. And this will be my second year chairing Security Council, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm here with my co-chair, Ankita Bhatt. She is currently at UC Davis. She is studying statistics, and we are both really excited to see how committee goes. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Peter Williams, and myself and my co-chair, Sam Smith, will be very honored to chair this year's Historical Security Council. I'm currently at the Ann Community College and Mission Community College studying political science and Arabic, and my co-chair, Sam Smith, is at Cal Poly studying environmental science. And we're very happy to be here and to chair Historical Security Council.
Hello everybody, my name is Sam Schulteis. I'm going to be chair of the NATO committee at this SCVMUN. My co-chair is unfortunately not with us at the moment. She is on her way. Her name is Rosalind Zubi. We are very excited to chair this committee. I am a senior at Seattle University studying strategic communications. I am also the Secretary General of the Seattle Model Young Club. We are very excited for this unique representation of NATO at SCVMUN, and we have great things in store for everyone in the committee. Thank you.
Hello, delegates. My name is Madeline Valdez, and I am your head chair for the World Bank. I am a junior at UC Berkeley studying political economy, and I am also a member of the Berkeley Modeling and Agency Group there, and we'll be chairing ILO there this upcoming season. My co-chair is Aditya Mohanraj. She is a junior at UC Berkeley studying electrical engineering and computer science. So we're looking forward to meeting you all in the community.
Hello everyone, I'm Emily Nankada. I am currently a senior at UC Davis studying political science, culture, anthropology, and human rights. I will be your head chair for UNHCR. Your co-chairs are Laurel Freeman, who is a political science major at Seattle University, and Rachel Adamek, who is an international studies major at Seattle University. Look forward to meeting all of you.
Hi there, my name is Spencer Phillips. I am the head director of ECOSOC. I am a graduate of UC Davis back in 2017. I currently work at Raytheon in Santa Barbara. My vice director is Apurva Prasad. He's a freshman at UC Berkeley studying molecular and cellular biology and public health.
Hello, my name is Eric Perella. I am the head chair of IAEA. I'm a junior at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, currently studying computer science. My co-chair is Shreya Nedi, and she's also a Cal Poly student, a first-year chemistry major. So I look forward to working with all of you. Go Mustangs.
I'm Monica Bonaventa, the head chair for data science. I'm currently a first-year student at the Rady School of Business for my master's in business administration. My co-chair is Megan Bruning, a freshman at UCLA in civil engineering. We look forward to seeing you guys in committee.
Hi, my name is Ankita Patel. I'm going to be chairing for the World Health Organization. I did my undergrad at UCLA and a master's in healthcare administration at Johns Hopkins University. I currently work in business operations at Stanford Healthcare.
Hey everyone, my name is Kunal Patel. I'll be chairing the UNEP. Did my undergrad at UC Berkeley studying computer science. I'm currently working as a technical consultant at Google. This is my co-chair, John Wood. He is currently in his second year studying electrical engineering and computer science at UC Berkeley. Go Bears.
Hi, my name is Nora Lee. I graduated medical school a year and a half ago, and I'm currently a research fellow at Stanford University, and I'm the head director of software support.
Hi guys, my name is Jenna Leacher. I am the head chair of UNDP. I am currently a senior at California State University Long Beach studying studio art, and this is going to be my 8th and final SCVMUN, so super excited to hang out with you guys this weekend.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Geis. I'm the head chair of legal. I'm a third year at the University of Pacific with a double concentration in business law and MIS with a minor in pre-law. This is my third SCVMUN. I'm excited to be here, and my co-chair is Natasha Sikha, and she recently just graduated with a music education degree with a focus on trumpet.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Swenson. I am the head director of UNESCO. I graduated from UC Santa Cruz with a bachelor's in human biology, and I now work at a genetics startup called Genius. My co-chair is not quite here yet, but she graduated UCLA, and her name is Zoe Bader. She graduated in education and is now a teacher down in LA. Thanks so much. Excited to see you guys.
Thank you very much, Director, for your introductions. I'm now going to give the podium to Isha, and thank you, Isha.
I would now like to introduce you to our guest speaker, Mr. Blake Johnson. Mr. Johnson works in development at the Center of Justice and Accountability, with an active knowledge of cases and investigations addressing the world's worst atrocity crimes, and represents clients in extrajudicial criminal tribunals. Before earning his law degree from Vermont Law School, Blake participated and staffed Model UN programs worldwide for 7 years. In 2017, he helped organize the Rotary International Model UN at the University of San Diego. Through law school, Mr. Johnson served as the chair of the National LGBT Bar Association Student Division, speaking on and researching LGBTQ legal rights around the country. Before CGA, he worked in nonprofit development in various states with the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, Department of the Interior Solicitor General Office in General Law, and U.S.-based political campaigns. With the Center for Justice and Accountability, Blake works with philanthropists, foundations, and attorneys worldwide to aid survivors of genocide and work towards a world without impunity for criminals committing atrocious crimes against humanity. We are incredibly fortunate to have an individual as distinguished and experienced as Mr. Johnson to speak before us today. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Blake Johnson to the podium.
Thank you, Isha, and congratulations. I am so impressed by seeing everyone here tonight, ready to go and listen to everybody's bios on the dais. You guys are incredible. So, esteemed delegates, esteemed dais, I am grateful to be here tonight after a long drive from the Facebook campus just now. I underestimated the amount of time, but it gave me a couple hours to consider the news we are hearing ad nauseum in the United States here today about the end of a government shutdown and a lot of news about a war. So what I find interesting about that is, as I sit there and I'm coming to speak to some of what I would assume would be really good friends of mine if I were in high school again. People that are passionate, have impressive and energetic and interesting new ideas to put into the world, that I'm sitting here listening to NPR tell me over and over and over about the wall. And I think we are here tonight to talk about bridges, not walls, right? So I think that what we can do is start off this speech and this weekend of diplomacy and coming together as one world with many nations' views in mind and in heart, with the idea that we are counteracting this concept that we need to keep people and ideas and values apart with walls. So that's where we're going to start now. And as Isha mentioned, I work for the Center for Justice and Accountability. So I'm going to kind of truncate what I was going to say. I came a little late. I think I don't want to take up too much of your time because you are here to do important work. I am going to tell you a little bit about what we do. I'm going to go through a little bit about your opportunities that will present themselves as you move on, not only through high school but into college for UN. We're going to talk a little bit about what the Center for Justice and Accountability does to give you context for what you will understand through your weekend as NGO work. So that you understand CJA is an NGO. We do not represent a nation. So you are doing something different that I'm going to talk about a little bit. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the renewed importance of the United Nations in our changing political climate. Because to understand what you need to do this weekend, I think you need, I can hopefully give a little bit of context using some much broader thinkers than myself, like Ken Roth from Human Rights Watch. And some of his aides who helped just put together a really important report in 2019, the World Report. Some of their concepts on what is autocratic creep. And it's a term that we need to be aware of as we move forward as a world body to understand how we can benefit more of the voiceless and more of those who are at the bottom of the power spectrum. So, with that in mind, the Center for Justice and Accountability is an organization founded 20 years ago in San Francisco. That is our headquarters. We work in 16 different countries, and we fight atrocity crime. So we are working to build a global net of accountability so that fewer atrocity crimes are crimes of genocide, torture, severe human rights abuses that are going on both historically and currently. So you all are aware, and I'm not going to throw any, I was toying with the idea of talking about a lot of the specifics of our work. You can find that on our website. I don't want to give any one country, I want every eyes to go to some of the countries that we are currently investigating, that we're currently litigating. That wouldn't be fair to those delegations. So we're going to stay away from that, right? We should do it. I'm getting these two cases. What I can talk about, though, with our work is some very interesting pieces that we can be aware of that are happening around you today. CJA brought the very first war crimes case against Bashar al-Assad's regime for the murder of U.S. war correspondent Marie Coleman. So, this gives you some meat to work with. And bear in mind, I had said I was going to talk about autocratic creep earlier. So, CJA represented Marie's relatives in a civil suit, which is what we do. She's an American citizen who was killed in 2012 in the city of Homs, in the siege of Homs. And you can see her story now. The actress Rosamund Pike from the popular movie Gone Girls plays Marie Coleman in A Private War. And you can watch what happened. We represent Marie. This is some human rights work that we chose to do as impact litigation. We work in litigation and transitional justice and policy. And we were able to, through the help of brave individuals, Syrian activists, and rebel forces in Syria, to smuggle documents out of that country and produce them into a U.S. court record that we are awaiting a judgment now, and we are crossing our fingers for a favorable outcome that will say that Bashar al-Assad right now, since 2012, in a brutal campaign of dictatorial power, of autocratic power, is currently, and did in 2012 during this campaign, brutally disregard the lives of Syrian civilians. And we see the effects of that now, right? So we're seeing that in the news all the time. And now we're mad about that. What are other countries doing about that? In the context of the UN, in the context of coming together to build a voice for the voiceless, how is the nation going to address that? So I encourage you, this is one of the things I'm going to encourage you this weekend. Think about that. Another example of The work that we are doing now, we represent historical work. So that was an example of our current work. Our historical work, we represent 45 Cambodian survivors of the Khmer Rouge regime, that ended 40 years ago. So we had that to celebrate the fall of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. We still represent them awaiting justice in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, with the extrajudicial criminal courts there. So this is another concept that you may have the opportunity to discuss this weekend, is the concept of perpetrator immunity. We have brought suits in that case, in the current case 3 out of 4 major cases in an extrajudicial criminal court, to hold the perpetrators accountable who were responsible for atrocities like the killing fields, which you may be familiar with. But also atrocities that led up to a siege of power in Cambodia that resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths there. Our job is to not allow dictatorial regimes, autocratic regimes, to sweep these pieces under the rug. People have been waiting in Cambodia. Cambodians in the Bay Area, who we represent, Cambodians who assist in Cambodia and Phnom Penh, have been waiting over 40 years for justice. They watched their relatives be brutally murdered, killed, and tortured. It is our job to remember that happened and why that happened. It is your job as the future leaders, and I say leaders because you're here on a Friday night willing to discuss some of the world's most difficult topics, the challenges that face leaders who are currently at odds with what to do. You're here tonight to talk about that when a lot of your friends and some of your colleagues and college classmates are not doing that, and I respect that. And so I'm going to say, one other excellent example, and this is a current example, and I saw some nods for talking about some specifics, so I will mention one other country. We are currently talking to the Crimean investigator in Ukraine. And he was in our office. One of the pieces that we do at CJA are deep investigations into current definitions of torture and abuse that are ongoing in countries like Ukraine, where the Crimean prosecutor was sitting in our offices last month, and I was coming to talk to you, and I said, what would you say to a group of students willing to change the world, to represent the underrepresented, to represent those who need a voice, and the citizens of our world need a better place. And I wasn't sure what he was going to say. He was there to talk to us about the weekly killing of citizens of Crimea, who are Ukrainian citizens in occupied territory right now, and how the world isn't watching. And that's a problem if you think about it. That he's coming to San Francisco and he's talking to a group of lawyers and saying, what can we do to stop citizens from being killed and tortured? These are not rebel fighters we're talking about. We're collecting evidence now, today, right, of this atrocity that's happening currently. And I know what you think about it. I mean, what is your nation's response to that? There are a lot of individual isolationist policies that can happen to say, maybe we should talk about sweeping this under the rug. What does peace at all costs mean, right? We've heard this term, peace at all costs, right? What does that mean to our country? Is that going to benefit our national interests? Is that our sovereignty? Is that what we're going to stake our flag, or are we going to become involved? Are we going to stand up to autocratic leaders? Stand up to autocratic creep. The way that
Some might argue it happened in the 1940s in Germany. And that is what the Crimean prosecutor said. He said, please tell them, learn from history. Don't let history repeat itself. Don't allow autocratic creep. Because what happens with that is you turn a blind eye. All of our countries have issues. All of our countries are facing major challenges. Climate change is happening in our world. It is causing, scientists are saying, it is causing major issues in natural disasters across our world, right? There's a lot to focus on right now. This is a human-made error in thinking. That we need to somehow forget that in Crimea, there's an occupation, right? That there are people dying every week, and that we're not paying attention, because that is how autocratic creep starts. So I'm going to leave you with a few words. I want to make sure I kind of covered some of the basics here. I'm going to repeat some of Ken Roth's words from the 2019 World Report in the Human Rights Watch. It's available online at stream. It's a resource that goes country by country. So your nation, if you have a chance, bring it up your phone. You might be able to use some of this information this weekend. It will have some information in it that might not paint your country in the best light. That's good information to know, right? What are some of the possible human rights abuses in the country you're representing? It's certainly not complimentary of our current U.S. administration in every sense, right? I think it's a fair and balanced report. So I'm going to say some of the things that Ken talks about autocratic creep. In some ways, this is a quote from his foreword. In some ways, this is a dark time for human rights. Yet, while autocrats and rights abusers may capture headlines, the defenders of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law are gaining strength. That's the hope, okay? That's what we're doing. He says, he warns us though, watch for autocrats. They must pursue a two-step strategy to undermine our democracies. First, they will scapegoat and demonize vulnerable minorities to build popular support. Think about that. Then they will weaken the checks and balances on government power needed to preserve human rights and the rule of law. Okay? Two pieces to think about. Think about those two pieces, and you might have some examples in your mind right now that aren't too far from home. The final piece that he leads with, ends with on autocratic leaders, is think about the autocratic leaders around this world today. We live in a challenging time. And note, what problems are they solving that they cited to justify their rise to power? Okay? The UN is renewed in its call to action because of autocratic creep, of what's happening in countries around the world today with leaders who are going unchecked. And it is your job today to think about solutions to that. I'm going to end with a shameless plug. As you go to your universities, and many of you are in university now, on the dais, don't stop your quest and the Model UN. What you can do tonight and through this weekend is incredible. You will make friends for your lifetime. And I have friends from all over the world. Having been able to travel from my university, having stayed in touch and volunteered for one of the largest Model UNs, the American Model UN in Chicago, is held every fall. But from a number of them. And I encourage you, when you get to your college campuses, when you decide where you're going to go, when you decide what degree program you're going to be in, it doesn't matter where you are in terms of what school or what program. Find your international relations club. Find your Model UN club. and join and be the leader that you're meant to be there. Take the experiences that you gained from this weekend, take the ideas that you formed, take the research that you've done and build on it. Because that leadership will take you far in life. I just, as an exercise for you all tonight, I went through and pulled up my buddies on LinkedIn and Facebook from the UNs that I attended for almost 10 years. And I was like, oh, I wonder what their titles are. So you can maybe have a little purview as to what people are doing who cared so much about Model UN. And so I'll leave you with some of their titles. Senior Research Director, Executive Director of multiple NGOs, Chief Advocacy Officer, Chief Public Defender, Mayor, Law Firm Partner, Foreign Service Officer, times about 10, Legal Director, Governor, U.S. Senator, and the list goes on. So know now what you do is important. Know now your ideas are important, the connections you build will be important, your ideas on autocratic people will be important. If you disagree with me, email me, tell me why. Let's have a discussion, because that's what your evening and weekend is about. Taking the perspective of your nation, but being willing to listen, being willing to build bridges, and being willing to take the idea that your voice is meant to represent the voiceless. With that, thank you, good luck. Good luck.
So thank you to Mr. Johnson for your enriching speech. We're truly grateful to have you here today and for you to share your knowledge with us. Please accept this gavel as a token of our appreciation and to signify that you are a wonderful guest speaker for the 48th annual session of SCVMUN. At this time, I would like to take roll call. Please respond with present or present in voting. Please have one delegate from your country raise their placard only. Decorum delegates. I will be starting by calling the countries in alphabetical order. I received one response, present or present in voting from each country. All right, we'll be beginning roll call now. Afghanistan. Present or present in voting? Albania. Algeria. Argentina. Australia. Austria. Belgium. Brazil. Bulgaria. Canada. China. Colombia. Cote d'Ivoire. Delegate. Croatia. Czech Republic. Denmark. Dominican Republic. Ecuador. Egypt. Equatorial Guinea. Eritrea. Estonia. Ethiopia. Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Italy, Japan, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Laos, Latvia, Lebanon, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Mali, Mexico, Montenegro, Myanmar, Nepal, Netherlands, Norway, Oman, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Serbia, Singapore, Slovakia, Slovenia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Thailand, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, Venezuela, Vietnam, Yugoslavia, Zambia. So now that's the end of roll call, but I have a few announcements before you're dismissed. So just to reiterate, as Lucas has mentioned before, room 302 will serve as a delegate lounge. So delegates may use the computers, have copies made, and purchase refreshments. If you have any issues, please go to the delegate lounge and the head page will help you. The faculty lounge is in room 322, which is accessible through the copy room. On your program, some of the, all the committee rooms should be there, but on the map we are missing, I believe, UNEP. So please refer to the list of committees and their rooms when looking for your committees. Finally, I will be around campus checking on committees throughout the conference with Lucas. So if at any point you need me or Lucas, just stop us, or if you're advising us, make sure that they know that they can come talk to us at any time. When you are dismissed, your assistant directors will be standing outside with signs to lead you to your first session of committee. Before I dismiss you, please give your head directors a chance to get out of the gym first because they will be opening up your committee rooms. So the order of dismissal will be head directors, assistant directors, then you will be dismissed. Please keep that in mind. Now, with the moment you have been all awaiting for, are there any points or motions on the floor? Finland.
Motion to start conference.
Yeah, motion to open SCVMUN 48? All right, that motion is in order. All of those in favor? All of those opposed? Seeing as this motion clearly passes, of Santa Clara Valley Model United Nations open. Please